Hey guys, so as you all know, the Australian Open is going on in tennis. It's the first Grand Slam of the year. So we're now in the last 16 stage of the tournament. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the women's singles matchups. So the first of them is Noskova versus Svitolina. Um, so this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. They've never played each other before, but Sweet uh, Noskova did upset Swiatek in the previous round in round three, and has won her last two rounds in three sets. However, I still think Svitolina is a favorite to win this one, as she hasn't dropped a set so far in this tournament, and in the warm up to this event, she was also a runner up in the Auckland WTA 250 event. Noskova, of course, did reach the semi-final in the WTA 500 at Brisbane, but I think she's still an underdog in this match. Then um, Azarenka versus Yastremska. Azarenka, she had a shaky start to the tournament. She dropped sets in round one and round two, but she defeated Ostapenko in straight sets in round three. Yastremska's Yastremska has knocked off a couple of seeds. She knocked off Navarro in round three and also Vondrausova. But I feel Azarenka is the favorite to win this one. Um, she did reach the semi-final of the Brisbane WTA 500 in the run up to this one. She's a two-time champion at the Australian Open. She reached the semis last year, so my money's on her to win this one. And her head-to-head against Yastremska is also 2-1. Then Paulini versus Kalinskaya. Not many expected this matchup to happen. Uh, in the last 16, but Paulini did win their only match, and in the United Cup, she won a match and she lost a match. She defeated Kerber, lost to uh, Garcia, but Kalinskaya doesn't have too much of a track record. She's dropped two sets so far at the Aussie Open. Paulini has not dropped a set yet, so she's the favorite to win this one. I think she'll win this in straight sets. Uh, then comes Zheng versus Dodin. I think Zheng is going to be the favorite to win this one, even though Dodin hasn't dropped a set so far at the Aussie Open, and Zheng had some decent form coming into this tournament. Although she had a 2-1 record at the United Cup, but although her two wins were against Vondrausova and Danilovic, and the loss was against Swiatek, the Aussie Open, she's dropped two sets so far. But I think she will defeat Dodin still. It'll be a three-setter maybe. This is the first time they're playing each other. Then Kostyuk versus Timofeva. Well, Kostyuk has had a pretty rough ride so far at the Aussie Open. She's needed three deciding sets in all her games, all her matches. So uh, she's gonna have a tough time against Timofeva. Although Timofeva and Timofeva has only dropped one set in the qualifiers and one set in the main draw so far coming into this match. So I have a feeling Timofeva will also take Kostyuk to a decider, but only difference is she will defeat Kostyuk. That's my prediction over there. Then Freck versus Coco Gauff. I think this is a no-brainer. I think Coco Gauff should win this in straight sets. She's not dropped a set so far. She won the WTA 250 in Auckland in the lead up to this event. She's a current US Open champion. And then uh, Freck, although she did defeat Garcia in straight sets in round two, and she did had a few come from behind wins in round one and round three. I think still think she's going to be an underdog in this match. Then for Andreeva versus Krejcikova, mm, Andreeva Krejcikova was actually the seeded player in this matchup, but Andreeva has won both the matches she played against Krejcikova, including at Wimbledon and in Beijing uh, last year. And so far in the tournament, she's dropped only the set against Parry in round three, and in round two, she knocked off Ons Jabeur. And that was a pretty shocking result. Krejcikova has needed to come back from a set down in round one and round three of the tournament, and I I don't have a feeling she might get knocked off by Andreeva in this match. That's my gut feeling. Then, last but not least, comes um, Animosa versus Anisimova versus Sabalenka. This is also a strange matchup in the sense Sabalenka is the second seed, but Anisimova has a 4-1 head-to-head against her. Two of the four wins of Anisimova were at Grand Slams, and one win was on hard courts. Uh, but Sabalenka won their most recent match, although that was in 2022 in Rome. Anisimova hasn't dropped a set at the Australian Open, and she's defeated some decent players: Samsonova, Podoroska, and Barossa. Whereas Sabalenka, though, she's the defending champion at the Australian Open. She won it last year. And at the WTA 500 event in Brisbane, she was runner up. She's runner up at the US Open as well last year to Coco Gauff. She reached the semifinals of the WTA finals, but she also hasn't dropped a set at the Australian Open yet. So this is going to be a pretty interesting match, and I think it's going to go the distance to three sets, and I think Sabalenka is going to win it. So unfortunately, I couldn't do a video predicting the round of last 16 matchups, but unfortunately, with the women's singles, I have to say I didn't get too many of my predictions correct. Um, Only 5 out of 16. I predicted Swiatek versus Svitolina. Swiatek would play Svitolina, but that didn't happen. Um, Azarenka versus Navarro. I got Azarenka right. Um, with Swiatek versus Svitolina, I got Svitolina correct. Rybakina versus Kasatkina, neither of them made it this far. Zeng versus Pegula, Pegula is knocked out. Zeng is in. Sakari versus Haddad Maya, neither of them made it. Then I predicted Garcia versus Goff. Coco Goff is there. Garcia couldn't make it. Jabur versus Alexandrova, neither of the two were able to qualify. Samsonova versus Sabalenka. Samsonova is gone. Sabalenka is still around. So only 5 out of 16. So that does it for my predictions. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.